Welcome back to Twilight Imperium 4th edition. I think in this episode we should be able to conclude round 3. I think we're on right now. Losing track, so I'm trying to keep track of everything else. Alright, so up first will be the Sardic Noir taking an action, then Federation of Sol, and then Arbrick. And yes, I left some notes and a little video at the end of the last episode where I had messed up the Sarween tools. Yes, indeed, the Sardic and the Arbrick have Sarween tools, which means production should be -1 cost when they build units at a space dock. And also the Arbrick have that funky ability. Their ground troops themselves are little production units. They can split by spending 1 resource. They can actually grow 2 more ground forces. So this ground force, for instance, could turn into 3 if they want to activate that system and use that production ability for their infantry, which I've been kind of forgetting about through the playthrough so far, but now I'm going to remember. Alright, up first, Sardic Noir to take an action. And the action the Sardic Noir are going to take is Warfare. So we're going to use their token here. And let's have a look at it. It says, remove 1 of your command tokens from the game board, then gain a command token. Redistribute any number of the command tokens on your command sheet. And as a secondary ability for the Arbrick and for ourselves would be spend a token from your strategy production pool. Only the Federation of Sol have a token there to use a production ability of 1 of your space docks in your home system. Well, unfortunately for Federation of Sol, we do have a token there, but we have 0 production ability. Neither do we have Sarween tools, so we cannot produce anything anyway. So we're not going to do that secondary ability. Arbrick can't. They don't have a token in their strategy pool. So let's just go ahead and do the Warfare action for the Arbrick and see what they're going to do with that. And I got a bad feeling about this. The Arbrick are going to remove this command token from the board with their flagship, a dreadnought, a destroyer, and a carrier. Wow. So that one is coming off the board and it's going to go onto their command sheet. So let's see where they're going to place it. And they're going to place it into their tactic area. All right. And I do believe that's it for the Warfare. Now they get to redistribute any of their tokens should they desire to do so. But I think, oh man, do they want to? I don't think they're going to bother reorganizing any of their command tokens. All right. Up next will be Federation of Sol for an action. And the only action really available to us is an orbital drop. We could spend our strategy token, our command token out of strategy to drop 2 ground forces on any planet we control. But I don't think we want to waste that 1 token. So what we're going to do instead is we are going to pass. And I don't believe any of our cards, well, they do have action. Choose a system that contains 1 or more of your units that have bombardment. Exhaust each planet controlled by other players in that system. Well, that doesn't apply. That's the only action card that says action that we have. So we're not going to bother. We're going to pass. So we've passed. Up next is the Arbrick to take an action if they so desire. All right, so the Arbrick are going to take an action. They have an action card that says action. And let's hope it focuses so that we can actually look at it. Industrial Initiative action. Gain 1 trade good for each industrial planet you control. Well, kind of a waste, but they're going to do it anyway. And so what does that mean? Industrial planets have the green symbol on them, the little green gear symbol. They only have 1 world, unfortunately, that has that. So that's only going to net them 1 trade good. But they've had a look around the galaxy, and trying to get any more of them before they play that card is going to be a little too difficult. So they're just going to go ahead and grab 1 trade good for that. And now it's that's their action. Now we go back over to Sardic Noir. And the Sardic Noir are going to spend 1 of their 2 tactical or command tokens in tactics to do something on the board. I don't like this, but let's go over and see what the Sardic are going to do. And the Sardic are going to activate their home system. They have a production capacity of 3 + 2. They could build 5 units there. They just currently have their space dock PDS and nothing else in the system. So let's go ahead and see what they want to build. All right, and what the Sardic are going to build is a couple of destroyers. That's going to cost them 2, and they have 2 trade goods because I screwed up their Sarween tools. So they will be able to spend those 2 trade goods to get their 2 destroyers. Let's place them out on their homeworld. All right, and out come the 2 destroyers protecting their homeworld right here. And there you have it. That's their action. Up next would be Federation of Soul, but we've passed. Over we go to the Arbrick. The Arbrick, though, have done everything they want to do. They're going to pass, which brings us right back to the Sardic to see if they want to take another action. And the Sardic are going to spend their last tactical command token on a tactics to activate a system. Let's go ahead and see what they're up to. And I'm sure they are just up to no good. So what are they doing? They are activating Mecatol Rex. Oh man, this does not sound good. And they're also going to be playing an action card at the same time. The action card they're playing is Flank Speed. After you activate a system, apply +1 to the move value of each of your ships during this tactical action. Wow, does anyone have Sabotage? Does anyone have Sabotage? And, yeah, we don't have Sabotage as Federation of Soul, so we can't cancel that card. The Arbrick, if they do have Sabotage, are not playing it. So, that means the Sardic Noir's flagship has a movement of 1. It now can have a movement of 2. The Dreadnought, movement of 1, can have a movement of 2. Likewise, their carrier. Alright, other things we need to consider is the Sardic have anti-mass deflectors. And the anti-mass deflectors, if this will focus, which it may not, I apologize, the ships can move into and through asteroid fields when other players use space cannon, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. So what it means is not only can they move an extra space now because of flank speed, they can move through this asteroid field. Wow, pretty crafty of the bugs. So they're going to move their flagship over here to Mecatol Rex. Their flagship has a capacity of 3, so they might as well bring these 2 ground troops with them on the flagship. And they're also going to bring in the Dreadnought. Oh man, they are making their presence known. The Dreadnought, they're also going to bring in the carrier, I guess, as fodder. And they're going to dump these 2 ground troops on Mecatol Rex, which means they immediately grab this token. This token is worth 1 victory point immediately, and it can never be taken away from them. So basically now the council will be formed. So we're going to have an agenda phase now in this round. The bugs have claimed Mecatol Rex. Wow. And so of course they're going to get the Mecatol Rex card. And a victory point. So let's give them a victory point, and they're going to grab the Mecatol Rex card. Damn it. All right, the bugs grab a quick victory point for that, up to 2. And they are going to get the Mecatol Rex card, which is going to be face down, of course. But it's worth 1 production and 6 influence. Wow. So we're going to add that to their tableau if we can find a space to fit it in there. And that was quite a crafty move from the bug race. And we're going to add Mecatol Rex here down sort of sideways, because it's the only place I can fit it in there. Wow. That was pretty... Oh man, that was pretty nasty. But there you have it. That is the Sardic taking Mecatol Rex, getting a victory point, getting that card. And now the Senate can be formed between our 3 races. So we're going to have an agenda phase coming up in this episode. And everyone has passed except the Sardic. And so now we'll just keep having the Sardic take actions. But the Sardic are finished doing what they want to do. So they are going to end off by passing. Which means now we're going to move into the status phase. All right, the first thing we do on the status phase is we score objectives, starting with the Sardic Noir. Are they going to score any public objectives? They are not able to have 2 technologies and 2 colors. They can't spend 8 resources, 8 influence. They don't have 5 trade goods. They don't own 2 unit upgrade technologies, only 1. But they can and will do their secret objective, and their secret objective is control 4 hazardous planets. In fact, they control 5 hazardous planets, so they are able to do that secret objective. That's going to give them another victory point. They're getting very close to Federation of Soul, and the poor plant people are Sucking wind. All right, Federation of Soul is going to come up next. And we can do one public objective, which, excuse me, we are going to do Own 2 unit upgrade technologies because we've upgraded our carriers and we've upgraded our ground troops. So we are able to claim that public objective. Can't speak anymore. We're going to 5 victory points. Federation of Soul springs into the lead again. And we are also not finished because we can do a secret objective. And one of our secret objectives is Own 2 faction technologies. Well, we do. That's basically the same thing. We do own our 2 faction technologies. That's going to give us another victory point, up to 6. Right on. All right, we are over to the plant people to see if they are going to score any victory points. Can they do any public objectives? Yes, they can. They are going to do the erect a monument, spend 8 resources. Well, let's go over to their area and see how they're going to spend 8 resources. All right, the Arboric left a whole bunch of resources sitting here, and that's why they did it. So they're going to spend 3, 4, 5, 6. They're actually going to spend 9, which is more than 8. So they've spent 8 resources. Yes, they're hanging on to their trade goods. And let's go over, give them that erecting a monument public objective, and get them a victory point. All right, so finally, the plant species, the Arboric, are on the map. They have claimed this one, spend 8 resources, and they get their first victory point. But they're not finished there, because they can also claim a secret objective. And what is their secret objective? They have 3 of them. You can only ever have 3 in the game. They are going to claim learn the secrets of the cosmos. If it will focus, have 1 or more ships in 3 systems that are each adjacent to an anomaly. Well, I'm sure they've done that. So let's take a look at the board and see how they managed to pull that one off. And pretty easily you can see 1, 2, 3 with piles of ships in here next to this anomaly, the asteroid field, and so they have fulfilled that secret objective. Let's give them another victory point. All right, so they're catching up a little bit. They're up to 2 victory points now. They're still, I mean, Federation of Soul, we're out in the lead. And that's going to be score objectives. Now we get to reveal the next objective. Well, the next objective now comes down to the level 2 objectives, and let's see what we've got here. Spend 16 resources, found a golden age. Holy, but that's worth 2 victory points. But that's a lot of production, a lot of resources you got to spend that leave you not able to do too much more on the board, but worth 2, not a bad one to do. All right, and now we're going to be drawing action cards. So the Sardic Noir, the Arboric get to draw 1 card, and because we have neural motivators as Federation of Soul, we get to draw 2. And yes, kind of long range here. So action cards. Here's the top of the action deck, and we do this in order. So Sardic Noir going to get 1 action card, and then Federation of Soul will get 2, which we will look at here in a second, and then Arboric, our third, they will get 1. All right, let me get organized here, and we'll come right back and take a look at our 2 action cards because of neural motivators. All right, so I've zoomed out a lot so that we can actually read these cards without straining ourselves too much. So we have Bunker. At the start of an invasion, during this invasion, apply -4 to the result of each bombardment roll against planets you control. Wow, so we can really dig our ground troops in. If somebody tries, like the Sardic, to come back and take us over again. And the other one we got is Rise of a Messiah. Action, place an infantry from your reinforcements on each planet you control. Wow, that's huge. We just get free infantry on a planet, on each planet. So every planet we control, we can just dump an infantry down. That is really cool. All right, those are the actions we got. Looking again in the status phase, so that's draw action cards. Now we get to remove command tokens. All right, let's do that. And once again, very quickly, of course, we look at all the command tokens on the board. They're going to be pulled off, put into our reinforcements, and so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. All right, all command tokens are now removed from the board, unless I've missed some, but I don't think I have. All right, so that's that part of the status phase. Now we gain and redistribute command tokens. So let's go ahead and do that. And once again, we are versatile Federation of Soul. We get 1 additional command token. So Sardic Noir are going to get 2, Arboric 2, Federation of Soul, we get 3. All right, so way up at the top there, the Sardic are going to get 2. They are just going to put both of them in their tactic spot. All right, up next, Arboric. The Arboric likewise are going to get 2. They are going to put, they have none in tactics, none in strategy. Oops, that's upside down. They're going to put 1 in tactic. Oh, man. And you're going to put both of them in tactic, leaving their strategy empty, unfortunately. All right, Federation of Soul, we get 3. All right, Federation of Soul, we get 3 because we are versatile, which is nice. We're going to put 1, 2 for sure in tactics. I think, oh man, we're in a bit of trouble here. I think we're going to put all 3 in tactics. So that's what we're going to do. That takes care, we can redistribute so we can move things around, but none of the races we're going to bother doing that. Now we ready the cards. And so what does that mean? We take all of the face down planet cards, turn them all face up. Give me a second here. I'm going to do that and we'll be right back. And damn it! I just realized the Arboric never did use their strategy card Politics. Oh man, which will not screw things up too much, I don't think. It's done completely out of order. I apologize. Trying to juggle too many balls and a couple of them fell on my head. So yes, the Arboric will have to do this Politics action. Choose a player other than yourself to be the speaker. The Arboric will choose themselves, obviously. They want to go first. They get to draw 2 action cards. So that's going to be slightly out of order, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. They're just going to get 2 action cards now that they get. So there, go ahead and get that. That is good. All right, that didn't, I looked at them quickly. I didn't really screw anything up. Damn it. And then look at the top 2 cards of the agenda deck. So the Arboric get to look at the top 2 cards and make a decision of if they want to keep them or not. So I'm going to do that off screen here. So they basically get to look at them and they can put them in any order on the top or the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then nobody was going to spend a token from strategy. It was only Federation of Soul anyway to get 2 action cards. Not going to happen. I really apologize for that. Damn it. Hate screwing that up. But I don't think it affected the gameplay very much at all. Sorry about that. Damn it. But anyway, all right. So the Arboric basically are the speaker, and they get to cook the agenda deck before we get into the next phase, which would be repairing units. Damn it. Be right back. Okay, once again, I apologize because I'm Canadian, but damn it. I hate screwing up like that, but I don't really think it affected much. But now we move on, keeping going in the status phase, damn it, is repair units. So I've readied all the planet cards for all the races. Time to repair units. The only damaged units on the board are the Federation of Soul. So our damaged Dreadnought gets repaired, and our 2 carriers get repaired, ready for the next wave of hostilities, perhaps, perhaps not. All right, and then it is return strategy cards. So I'm going to flip all the strategy cards over and get them ready for the next round, which is not going to happen right away because we're going to have to go into the agenda phase. All right, we are now going into the agenda phase. So if this will focus, basically the agenda phase. You can read that if you like. Basically what happens is we're going to resolve 2 agendas. We're going to look at the first agenda, reveal it obviously. We're going to vote on it. We use influence for voting. Then we resolve the income, and then we do a second one. So the plants have the advantage right now, the Arboric, of having cooked the agenda deck using the politics strategy card, so they know what's coming up and how they want to vote. Of course, Federation of Soul Sardic don't. And then you ready all the planets at the end. So basically all planets are ready now for voting. And I'll come back here in a second. I'll give you the total number of influence from Sardic, Arboric, Federation of Soul. Now the Arboric are the speaker now, so they get to vote last. And this is where a whole bunch of negotiation between players can happen. But of course I'm playing solo, so you'll just have to imagine that there's lots of table talk going on and discussions between the races for voting on the agendas. So I'm going to come right back, give you a total influence for each of the races, and then we're going to take a look at the first political agenda. All right, and the total number of influence between the Sardic and the Federation of Sol both have 16 influence. The Arboric have 13. But the Arboric have 3 trade goods, which could bring them up to 16. So basically, all 3 races right now, strangely enough, have a total of 16 influence each for voting. All right, we're going to take a look at the first agenda, which is right here. And what is it? It's the seed of an empire, the seed. Har, har, har. Good for the Arboric, perhaps. All right. If they vote for, the player with the most victory points gains a victory point. Do you really think the Plant and Sardic want the Federation of Sol, who are way out in the lead, to get a victory point? Against. The player with the fewest victory points gains 1 victory point. Ooh, so this really will help the Arboric. They have 2 victory points. The Sardic Noir 3, Federation of Sol 6. And so to save some time here, I'm just going to come back. I'm going to let you know how the voting went. So basically what's going to happen, Federation of Sol is going to cast their vote first. Now remember, there's going to be 2 agendas, so we don't know what the second one is. So if you spend all of your influence on the first agenda, of course you'll have 0 influence for the second one. So I'm going to go ahead and tally up the influence for and against, and then I'll kind of come back and let you know what happened, so you don't have to sit here listening to me for 5 minutes as I discuss with myself how this agenda is going to play out. So 4 means basically if they vote for, and if there's a tie, the speaker breaks the tie. If it's 4, it means Federation of Sol is going to get a victory point. If it's against, it means the Arboric are going to get a victory point. So I'm going to come back here in a second and let you know how it went. All right, so I've just used dice here to kind of tally things up. So the Federation of Sol were the first voters, and they voted 10 influence for, which means the Federation of Sol will get a victory point. However, the Sardic up next voted 6 against, which meant basically that the Arboric are going to get a victory point. The Arboric then came along and said 4 against. So it's a tie 10 by 10, which means the speaker breaks the tie. Speaker says it's going to pass the motion 4, which means the Arboric are going to get a victory point. That's Agenda 1 taken care of. All right, and the Arboric are happy about that because now they tie the Sardic for 3 victory points. Still a long way from Federation of Sol. But that was kind of a cheap victory point for the Arboric to get. Up next, we're going to have the second agenda voted on. And what's left is the Sardic Noir have 10 influence left. The Arboric have 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 influence. Actually, 12 left total if they want to use their trade goods. And Federation of Sol have 3, 4, 5. They only have 6 influence left. So, we're going to come right back. We're going to take a look at Agenda 2. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the second agenda. Of course, the Plant Arboric race already knows what it is. They cooked the deck. And it's an incentive program. It says it's a directive. 4. Draw and reveal one Stage 1 public objective from the deck and place it near the objectives. Or against, draw and reveal a Stage 2 public objective. All right, and so once again, it's going to be voting starting with the Federation of Sol, and then it would be Sardic Noir Arboric. Once again, do the same very quick thing here. And I should say, though, that during all these negotiations in a real game where you have people sitting around the table, there would be lots of discussion going on. Things like, tell you what, I'll give you 3 trade goods if you vote with me. So I mean, there's all kinds of things that can go on. Of course, not going on here in a solitary playthrough here on my channel, but you can imagine it. So I'm going to just come back again with the voting results on the incentive program. So we're either going to be revealing another Stage 1 objective or possibly a Stage 2, depending. 4 is revealing a Stage 1, and against is revealing another Stage 2. All right, and so Federation of Sol, actually they had 7 influence. I said they had 6. Incorrect. They did all 7 against because they want to get a Stage 2 objective out there, give them more possibility to get the victory points they need to win the game before anybody else. Then the Sardic said, no, they used all of their 10 influence, which they had left, to do a 4, the incentive program, which is draw a stage 1 objective. So that is going to pass. And then along come the Arbrick. The Arbrick say, you know what, we're not even going to vote at all. We're abstaining from the vote. So it passes 4. We're going to be revealing one more stage 1 public objective. Let's get that out on the board. And that's going to conclude the agenda phase. Oh, well, not quite. Let's get the objective out first, and then we'll conclude the agenda phase. All right, so kind of running out of space, but we take one of the randomly shuffled remaining public objectives, and we have Intimidate the Council. During the status phase, have one or more ships in 2 systems that are adjacent to Mecatol Rex. One or more ships in 2 systems that are adjacent to Mecatol Rex. Ooh, okay. And that will be worth a victory point. So I will just kind of squeeze it in there. So I knock things around. So that's a bonus stage 1 public objective that we now have available for victory points. All right, I'm going to zoom out. Basically, the last thing if this will focus. Last thing in the agenda phase is we ready all of the planets again. So I'm going to be doing that, of course, off screen. You don't have to look at me flipping cards over. And I actually have a new method going forward for when I'm activating planets during production and such. I'm going to use these little beads that you get at the pet shop for aquariums. They're little blue beads. I'm just going to place them on the cards. That way it's easier for me than flipping cards over all the time. If a planet has a big blue crystal token on there, it means it's already been spent. All right, let's zoom out, and we're going to have a state of the galaxy wrap up. But first we'll look at our status cards, because I didn't quite do that yet. Then we're going to wrap up this episode for today. That's going to be the end of round 3. So yeah, we're looking at 6 victory points for Federation of Sol, 3 apiece for Arbrick, Sardic. But the Sardic Mar now have control of Mecatol Rex. How long will that last? I don't know. All right, so kind of a long range here. So what we have for next time for the start of round 4 is we have Trade and Imperial both have 1 trade good on them, and the rest, of course, have been used. All right, let's go back to the overview and wrap up the episode. And that wraps up our episode for today. In the end of round 3, we now have Mecatol Rex controlled by the Sardic with their flagship, a Dreadnought carrier. Wow, there's going to be some nasty battles coming up, I'm sure, in the episodes to come. We have Federation of Sol at 6 victory points. We have the Sardic and Arbrick tied at 3. And yeah, things are getting interesting. So first player to 10 victory points, of course, will win the game. So far it's looking like Federation of Sol, but they have a giant target on their back now. But the Sardic taking over Mecatol Rex adds the agenda phase into the game. So I hope you're enjoying it. This is Twilight Imperium 4th edition. I'm playing a 3-player game, trying not to mess up rules, which of course I'm missing some things, damn it, but I'm trying to keep things straight. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, your subscriptions, and likes. As always, very much appreciated. Join me next time for the continuation of Twilight Imperium 4th edition with 3 players: Sardic insect race, Arbrick plant race, and of course the Humans Federation of Sol. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.